Technology. Hi, everyone.
Yes.
If you're here, which you may or may not be, we're going to do this thing. We got 15 minutes of Tommy Spann, and we're going to make the most of it. Okay. It's Jen Frazier. I'm the CEO and founder of Firefly Partners, and we're here to launch so successfully a LinkedIn live series called UnTangled, talking with different technology folks in the nonprofit space about all the mess behind the mission, which is something that we just experienced right now in real time. So each week I'm going to have a guest on. This week I've got the amazing Tommy Spann, longtime friend, longtime technology do-gooder in the nonprofit space. Tommy, like all of my guests, will come up with topics that we want to talk about. And this week's topic is the ever-present, is AI coming for my job? Really? So Tommy, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us your hot take on, is AI coming for our jobs?
Gosh, well, definitely the AI could do a better job of sorting out our technical problems than us humans could in that frantic moment. So hopefully somebody's seeing this. We don't even know, right? We could just be talking to each other, which is
That's okay
something
because
we're
we're
really good
recording
at.
it and we're going to use
Oh,
this
we're
content.
recording it. Good. Good.
Yep.
That's great. So that you and I can watch it back later on. Well, for anyone who may future see this, or any AI bots that future see this, so Jen and I have been friends for a long time, since the beginning of the millennium, we can say, and have been involved in the tech for nonprofits since then, and have really seen the evolution and lack of evolution also among in this space, right? I remember talking about what we now call cloud. We described it as ASPs, and then it was SaaS, and now we talk about cloud. And just before this, Jen and I were discussing, like, at what point does experience turn into like over the hill boomer, right? I don't know, but I've been here a long time, been working with nonprofits and tech for a long time, specifically around databases and CRM solutions and helping organizations make the right selections, implement the right tools, improve their ability to leverage the technology, and just, again, leverage the technology to fulfill their missions and provide better impact to their organizations. That's what it's about. And
Yep.
for me, this topic is on that same frame. How do we leverage the AI to better fulfill our missions, to raise more money, to fill in the blank? Not will it replace us? And there's a lot of evidence that suggests it can't replace us, right? But the devil's in the details. And so let's talk about it.
Yes. I think the biggest worry I do hear from folks is the robots are coming, the AI is going to take over, blah, blah, blah. And then immediately people say, get the counter argument to that. No. AI is always going to need people. We're still here. So let's unpack sort of first of all, AI is such a huge topic, but we can spend like 20 seconds talking about what sort of AI is and sort of what we mean, even when we're talking about AI in this space, and sort of the different types, because that's a big difference. Is what are the types when you say AI is coming from my job? Obviously, there's a lot of different types of AI. The biggest piece that I think people are using right now is just sort of generative AI, is sort of like the very tip of the iceberg of what's possible in machine learning and AI in general. But let's maybe talk for 5 seconds about, when we say devil's in the details, a big piece of those details are sort of the types of AI and how we can start to use it more effectively, like you just said, to leverage that tech to do our work more effectively. I'm gonna maybe talk to that for a sec.
Yeah, well, because we're on a slightly compressed time schedule,
Yeah,
I'm going to
go
jump
for it.
to like one of the main points that I hope people will take away from this,
Yeah.
which is in the discussion of agentic AI. So you just talked about generative AI.
Yep.
So let's let's say ChatGPT is generative AI, right? How do I generate something
Mm-hmm.
using artificial intelligence? Agentic or agent AI is where I have an AI assistant, think of it that way, doing work for me without me feeding it inputs myself. It is
Mm-hmm.
just operating on its own, right? So that is agentic AI. So one of the most common use cases that many of us have experienced right now is through chat or text to AI assistants for help. Whether you're trying to purchase some clothing or you've got technical issues, you can have an AI work through those issues, and that is an agent that is operating for that vendor.
Right.
So agentic AI is where I think we have the best near-term opportunity to leverage this tool set. And so the big takeaway that really opened my mind in how to think about this is if you take any individual's job and you break it down into the various different tasks and responsibilities that they are responsible for, right?
Mhm.
You have a job description, you're responsible for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? You take those tasks, and if you begin to think about which of those might an agent be able to assist or take over, then you can really begin to look at those tasks and assign and develop agents to assist you. And so then you have, in a way, an org chart where you've got, okay, I got Tommy Spann, he is the CIO, or he is the manager of member relations, or he
Mhm.
is the major gift officer. In his job, he has to do these 5 or 6 different tasks. And so if you think of those agents as like employees, that sounds icky because it sounds like I'm replacing my employees. No, I am assigning task work to an agent.
Yeah.
And so I think about like almost an org chart and a hierarchy. I've got Tommy here, and let's say he's that major gift officer. He's got 10 tasks that he is responsible for, 10 responsibilities.
Mhm.
Of those, he's got 3 of them that agents are helping him to accomplish.
Right.
And that's the way to think about it.
Yeah.
That's the way to leverage it. It's
Yeah.
like, how can I utilize the tool to better perform the job I have, not to replace me, but better perform the job that I have?
Exactly. I think those are key terms for folks. If this is an area of concern, or even if you are a manager, director, VP level, and you're thinking about your team, it's this whole idea of like do more with less or whatever, too, is sort of an interesting way to think about. It's actually leveraging for components and pieces of a position, right? Rather, it's not going to be a whole position, but how can you utilize the technology and what's there to do it better? Honestly, maybe it's efficiency, but also it could be just deeper insights or other abilities to analyze, big pieces of data that would otherwise take a people, a person or people, a team, hours and hours or weeks or whatever. AI actually, here's a great place of efficiency, can help analyze data or dedupe data or all these different things like that are like manual tasks. So a lot of things I've seen right now is AI is going to really help take away the slog and really help people actually get deeper into where their brains actually should be functioning as sort of the more strategic, deeper insights, really again, like leveling up almost out of the stuff that sort of feels a little more routine, things that, again, tasks that can be created, but also that's sort of like I would say maybe like a first step for folks. How can you think of some of those tasks that are sort of some of the most uh, routine or easy to help an AI tool do for you more efficiently? But then you start to get into that next level. Some of the things you're really starting to talk about is leveraging into agentic, where it's more creating a thing versus just doing a task you're telling it to do. So that's some of the things people get kind of worried about too, is sort of training agentic AI to fulfill certain tasks in the job. But I think the key component here that folks should take away is it's not replacing full jobs, it's augmenting and hopefully creating greater efficiencies.
I have a real world example
Yeah,
just in the
perfect.
nonprofit space. So I think most organizations have some spectrum of major giving, right? That is often the only fundraising channel for smaller organizations, and for
Mm-hmm.
larger organizations, it's a very important one. So major giving is definitely an area for which both humans and AI can coexist really well, because there is there are emerging tools. There's a product called Practivated. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of it, but check it out, practivated.com. That is an AI tool to help the major gift officers role play and prepare for the human interaction, because what the AI cannot do is it doesn't have a gut instinct. It
Right.
doesn't have intuition. It doesn't have that same ability. It is statistical. It is algorithmic.
Right.
It can recognize symbols and make judgments, but it can't represent that human intelligence. That's irreplaceable. And so a major gift officer can utilize tools like Fundraise Up that do AI based like giving strings. And they
Right.
can use tools like Data Row that help to identify segments that are going to likely be candidates for major giving. So if they think about those agents, it's like, okay, I've got Data Row that is looking for potential major gift individuals, candidates, prospects. I've got products like Practivated that are helping me to prepare for it. And those are my agents, right?
Right.
That are helping me. And maybe they're working autonomously. Maybe they need me to interact with them to actually
Right.
facilitate the result. But then at the ask, when I'm going to meet with that individual, I'm not going to send an agent,
Right.
right?
You got to
And
jump. Yeah,
so,
the human piece is critical there. You
right.
can't just be like, okay, great, the robots have got this.
So,
Like, no.
so the AI saved me a ton of time in
Yeah.
finding candidates. The AI saved me a ton of time and helped me prepare, but it is the human intelligence that is going to actually get the gift.
Right.
And so
So
that's just a real world example that I think where we can coexist very well.
yeah, it can create content, but it doesn't know when and where to place it necessarily. It doesn't know which segments really matter. It doesn't understand empathy. It's not going to build that relationship. It's going to help, do the tasks again within that, but you still have to lead with the strategy. You still have to and you have to have good data for, the data to be analyzed and come up with, good information and good insights. So there's a lot of still legwork and things that need to happen. But again, it's that like, how can we help it? How can we have the tools help us do our jobs more effectively? But the human side of empathy, relationship building, all of that, understanding when and where and how and why to use the particular tools is never is a long time, isn't really the thing right now. It's not going to be the thing for quite some time. I don't know what the future holds in the AI and the super AIs out there that we don't want to talk about yet because that gets kind of scary. But right now, when we're using the first, like kind of these generations of AI today, human interaction is still really critical. But I guess, thank you, Tommy. I know we're in a really short timeline. I know you have to run. We wanted to keep it
I know there's so
short
much
and
to
sweet for
talk
everybody.
about.
But this is just the first episode. We got it nailed now. Hopefully LinkedIn streaming is working next time. But I wanted to thank you just for being my guinea pig, helping me live troubleshoot some, technology problems, because what's a technology conversation without a technology issue? Because that's how this goes. I want to say that we're going to post this on our website. We're going to link back to it. We're going to have snippets of it. We will also be putting on our post links to articles and different information that both Tommy and I have sort of found that we hope is useful and interesting for folks. And we want to give folks, information and time that's useful for you. So loving to get feedback from folks. Next week, I'm going to be joined by Brad Caldana, the Center for Digital Strategy. And we are going to continue actually to talk about AI next week and the mindset shift that nonprofits, we started to get into that, the mindset shift that nonprofits need to take, what tools might be useful for folks, and how we can, again, start to really leverage the technology out there that's available to make your jobs hopefully more efficient, help you get out of the grunt work, get away from this, and really help elevate where we are and what we're capable of the people behind and around and using the technology to further our missions and continue doing the great work that folks are doing out there in the world. So thanks for anyone who joined us. If you don't see this live, we'll be live, I promise, next Thursday at 10 Mountain, noon Eastern, with Brad and Tommy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. We'll just have you on. I'll schedule you for another one where we get to do the full 30-minute talk about stuff, and we'll
Sounds
go
good.
deeper next time. Okay?
Look forward to it. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you so much.